I'm Doug from 10-Minute Amiga Retrocast, and welcome to episode 28 of the Chickenhead Chronicles. Now, I cannot believe it's been since January that I've done an 8-bit show. That just blows my mind. It's the middle of June. Now, in my head, I want to do 3 Amiga shows a month and 1 8-bit show a month, but that doesn't work out. This month, we're revisiting the best 8-bit computer ever made by human beings, and that is the Commodore 128, and it happens to be the Commodore 128D. Now, others may disagree with me about it being the best 8-bit ever, but they're just wrong. Come talk to me when your 8-bit can run 4 different operating systems right out of the box. The Commodore 128 is an absolutely lovely machine. Of course, it comes with its own built-in 1571. Mine has a Jiffy DOS switch right on the front here, which is a little different. Happen to have a 1351 mouse with it. Thank you, Level Lord. And of course, it has the external keyboard. Let's take a look at the video outputs of this little beauty. Today is all about displaying the Commodore 128 on modern monitors. So let's take a look at how it normally displays. The C128 is unique in that it has 2 different display capabilities. The first one is a fairly standard 8-pin DIN that our Commodore 64s used, and it's also backwards compatible with the VIC-21, and this is fine for hooking up composite or Luma Chroma. Luma Chroma actually is a much better way to display your Commodore 128 in its 40-column mode because it separates the luminance and the color into 2 separate signals and combines them together. It's very, very much like the modern S-Video, and by modern I mean like 1992. The Commodore 128 also has this 9-pin connector here. This is very similar to a CGA connector. This is for displaying 80-column graphics. It's 16 colors, 640 by 200 screen standard, although there are other resolutions it supports, and it's at 15 kilohertz. Now, the Commodore 128 is unique in that it has 2 video chips. The standard, the VIC-3 chip, is what controls the 40-column full-color modes and the Commodore 64 modes, and the VDC chip controls the 80-column modes. Now, there's a whole story behind this, and it's great to watch one of the videos that Bill Hurd was speaking in when he was talking about the VDC chip and its pros and cons. Now, regardless of your opinion of the VDC chip that controls the 80-column mode, it has a beautiful, rock-solid 80-column mode available to it that's absolutely gorgeous, superior to CGA because it's 16 colors, where CGA was just 4 colors. But it's notoriously difficult to find a monitor that supports this kind of signal and a connection that supports this kind of signal. Now, in the past, we could use something like this beautiful 1902 monitor here, which supports the 80-column mode absolutely gloriously, but these monitors are getting expensive, they're getting hard to find, and they're not always working anymore. But there are some solutions to our Commodore 128 display dilemmas. A little over a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, our good friend Sven Pook from the Netherlands came up with this little device here that I featured on one of my old videos. This will send out composite video, standard composite cable, and Commodore 128 audio, and it has this 9-pin connector on it, and it will send out the proper signals for displaying on a modern monitor. It does that through a SCART cable. Now, for us in the United States, SCART it's just never been a thing, so we're going to be adapting that to something else. The video quality of this was phenomenal, but not quite all it could be because it does not support the Chroma, Luma, or S-Video signal. But was Sven done with this? Nope. He's gone from version 4 to this new version 5. Look at this. The new version 5 has some extra cables on it, and it also has S-Video and composite, which is really, really cool. And look here, there's some names written on here on the circuit board. What do we have here? Is that Douglas Compton I read on there? Who is that guy? Thanks, Sven. So in a nutshell, we take this little beauty, we plug it into the VDC's video port here, then we take this, which is just of our standard 8-pin DIN cable, and we plug that in to the 8-pin port, passes the signals right through. Then you see we have a switch here. In this position, we're putting out 40-column video. There, we're going to put out 80-column video. And then you have the switch down here that I pointed out earlier that switches between S-video and composite. I guarantee you, once you play with S-video, you're never going to want to go back with composite. So we have this new connector on here. How are we going to hook it up to our monitors? It has a SCART connector on it, like so. And we Americans have no idea what to do with SCART. Well, let me show you. These little beauties are available on Amazon for about $35. In the back, they have both a SCART and an HDMI input. And on the front, HDMI output and audio output. So it'll actually split the HDMI audio out of here, which is really useful for other reasons too. Then you have a switch to switch between the SCART and the HDMI, 720 or 1080p, and PAL and NTSC. These things will allow our devices to display on most HDMI televisions and most HDMI monitors. As an alternative, this is a little clever device that has SCART on one end, and then it has S-video, composite, and audio up here in the top. These also work, and these probably are about $15 or so. The one thing about this, it works great, except 80-column mode will only come out in single color, monochrome. So you have white characters on a black screen and that's it. Where with our SCART to HDMI solution, it'll come out full color. But this is a perfectly reasonable solution too. But enough blathering on, let's see this little guy in action here. So we've got it set up in 40-column mode for the Commodore 128. You can see the quality is pretty darn good. It does not eliminate the jail bars. My Commodore 128 has the jail bar things. I do not have the Luma fix that corrects that. But the image quality is pretty good, really pretty good. Now, if you can watch the screen, I'm going to switch it from S-video to composite. There, now we're in composite. Now we're in S-video. So you see in composite, the characters are a little bit blurrier. S-video, it sharpens things up pretty well. Not too bad. Let's put her back into S-video mode. Perfect. But let's take a peek at a few games and see how this works with video games. Let's take a look at Sarah Jane Avery's brand new Soul Force game that just came out this year. This is an absolutely incredible game that I still need to review. See, the text quality is perfectly fine on my HDMI monitor. Look at that beautiful screen. What a great game. And here we go. Graphics quality is actually pretty good. Now how about the brand new game Monstro Giganto? This one is absolutely fantastic. It's made entirely with Petsky graphics, and I'm going to do a full review on it quite soon. First, we want to set her to one player. Look at these graphics on here. Just absolutely fantastic. 100% Petsky graphics. This is a great game, and it looks absolutely beautiful using Sven's adapter. Here's a classic, Mayhem in Monsterland, of which I've played exactly none of. But beautiful graphics on here. Absolutely full speed. Beautiful. Look at that. Look at those graphics. That is Nintendo-esque if I've ever seen it. Goodness gracious. No idea what I'm supposed to do. So we've seen 40 column on here. Let's take a look at how 80 column looks. First, we hit our 80 column on our keyboard. We can switch to 80 column on Sven's adapter. Now let's power her up. See how she looks. Absolutely beautiful. Full color 80 column on a standard RGB monitor, or a standard HDMI monitor. Really not too shabby at all. Now I'm intentionally capturing the raw monitor footage instead of going through my capture box like I normally would. But Sven's device, since it ultimately sends out an HDMI signal through the SCART to HDMI box, captures this just beautifully. You can look at my my Commodore 128 productivity video, and you'll see I've captured everything there on my using his device. 80 column spreadsheet, so much better than the 40 column spreadsheets in Commodore 64. You'll literally never want to go back. Now here's an example of a great 80 column program, Geos, for the Commodore 128. This absolutely looks perfect in Commodore 128 mode and 80 columns. Absolutely fantastic. Beautiful. Now there's about 3 of you purists out there right now who are asking the question, does this fix the yellow-brown color shift that happens in a lot of these 80 column adapters over the years? And the answer is no, it doesn't. You still have that issue where one of the colors is just off a little bit. There's some technical reason for it, but I don't remember what it is. My comment to these people is, have you built a 40 to 80 column adapter which absolutely cures that yellow-brown problem, and have you sold it for approximately $25? Nah, give me a call when you do. Now, nobody just wants a raw circuit board sticking out the back of their machine. I mean, as attractive as that is, nobody wants to look at that. But luckily, there's some nice 3D printed cases for it. Now, my friend David Z here in Phoenix, you may know him as Wide World of Retro on Twitch, has sent me a couple samples depending on which model Commodore 128 you use. There's a couple different sizes of these. Let's snap it together and see how it looks all put together. Now, doesn't that look better with a nice 3D printed case on it? Just changes the whole thing. Now, guess how much this 3D printed case costs? $7 in your choice of colors. What a flippin' bargain. So about 25 American dollars for the interface, like $7 for the 3D printed case. Now the good news is my friend David Z is keeping a supply of these devices here in the United States. So when you order one from Sven and you're here in the United States, it will ship to you directly from David to cut down on shipping costs and to cut down on shipping time. He also will take care of printing the 3D cases for you. It's a really sweet deal. And there's the final appearance on the back of the Commodore 128. And there's my nice 512K RAM expansion. And you see you still have access to your toggle switch to go between the 40 and 80 column mode. You do not have access to the composite or S-video switch, which is internal. But I'm telling you, once you go S-video, you will never go back. So there's really no point in switching between that. So what's my opinion of this little gem? Well, I'd say if you're a Commodore 128 user and you've always wanted to experiment with the 80 column modes, there's almost zero reason not to get one of these from Sven. $25 American. Just order from his website, which you'll see the link right here. Just get in touch with him and tell him you want one. He'll make sure it gets sent out to you. $7 or $8 for the actual 3D printed case for it. You can't beat that with a stick. And again, if you're here in the United States, they ship out of the United States, so shipping cost isn't a big deal. I say thumbs up, pick up this little guy. Huge thanks to my wonderful patrons who are appearing right on top of this nice picture of my Commodore 128 in all of its glory. You guys are all so awesome. So pop on over to patreon.com/10mark for information on how you can help support the channel. All of my patrons will be getting an early look and will be able to cast their votes on this year's Amiga Art Contest. More info on that is available at www.amigaartwork.com. Thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. Please check out David Z's Twitch channel. Please check out Sven's store and order one of these little devices. They're just fantastic. Also, follow me on Twitter at 10mark1 and leave a comment below and tell me how you've hooked up your Commodore 128s to your monitors over the years. I'm curious to see what other solutions are out there. But until next time, this is Doug from 10 Minute Amiga Retrocast, signing out.